Hello, friends. Today we're continuing our series on how to vet friends. This is like the practical application of vetting friends. Okay. Number one, observe their behavior and values. Okay. Usually people are a reflection of their choices, and they usually judge based off their own standards. And people are also hypocritical, whether they care or know or not. Whether they care slash know or they don't. Doesn't necessarily matter, okay? It is up to you to know where they rank when it comes to your friendship. Please check out the for part one on vetting friends, and uh, also acknowledge that you are also the common denominator of the solution. You are both the problem and the solution. Okay, if all your friends are trash, you're the fifth trash friend, whether you like it or not. Like in some capacity, if all your friends are talking smack and you're not talking smack, you still enable your friends to talk smack because you don't say anything. I'm using it as an example, whatever. Okay. The first thing you got to do is observe their behavior. Very, very simple. Okay. What do they do? What do they talk about? And how do they react to stuff? I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Okay. No. That's true. What they do, how they talk, and how often they do those things are usually going to determine what type of person they are. I'm just saying, consistently, generally, this is just my advice. Not even my advice. This is just my experience. My bad. So I'm gonna go over some stuff because this is some biblical stuff, man. In Matthew 15:11, it says, "What goes to somebody's mouth does not defile them, but what comes out of their mouth, that's what defiles them." Okay. Matthew 6:22 through 23 says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, then your eyes are healthy, your body will be full of light." Anyway, jeez, I wrote that terribly. I didn't even finish it. I was tired when I wrote this, dude. Jeez. Anyway, Matthew 6:22, 23. Whatever. Okay? Basic stuff. Observe their behavior. Where did you meet these people? What do they talk about? What do they do often? Are they smart to be around? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, if I met someone at the club and they were drinking all the time and all they do is drink when I talk to them, they're probably not someone I want to hang around. Point blank, period. We might be casuals. We might see each other when I go out drinking, like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, so and so?" Like, "Oh, hey, have you been?" We might catch up, but that's literally it. This person is probably someone I don't want to connect with because they have terrible habits that are not good for a long term friendship, relationship of any kind. Okay? What people do is an outcome of whatever is in their heart. And whatever comes out of their heart, whether it be action or words, is who they are, whether they want to admit it or not. Okay? And you need to practice discernment. Okay, there's another scripture I'm thinking about. It's like Proverbs 25, chapter 20, verse 5. Okay, I think it's where it's at. One second. I'll put it up on screen. Okay. Second thing. Oh, number two. Dos. Okay, number two. Watch how they treat others. Obviously, but like this is something that a lot of times people miss toxic people because they don't look at the signs. They don't look at the type of animal that has the poison. They don't be remembering nothing. Like bright colors, they're probably toxic to something or somebody, or they taste sour, something like that. But the signs are there when somebody shouldn't be in your life. I'm just letting you know, usually, with very few exceptions. Okay? Ask yourself, how does this potential friend interact with other people, servers, colleagues, strangers? It reveals so much about their character. Okay? How they treat others is how they will treat you. And especially when, because especially during hard times and relationships, or when they don't like you, when you guys are fighting, whatever, sometimes people will, especially me, people will be, you will be the other people in their mind. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. What do you mean by you'll become the others in their mind? If when you're going through like some when I'm let me just go my personal story. Okay, when I'm going through a problem, right? When I'm like in distress, when I don't have a job, when I am searching to try to be better, and there's no opportunities, I start imagining and overthinking what other people think about me. Okay? The other in my mind is simply the imaginary things that I imagine people either doing or saying to me. The others. They don't even exist, they're not even real, and even if they were, what matters is what you do with that information. I don't care if people look down on me because I didn't have a job when I first moved out here. What matters is that I was looking for a job. So when I got a job, I can work that job. And now I already know what these people are. They're all fake. Because they might look down on me when I have a job, but there are plenty of people who don't even try to look for jobs. And they're probably not people that you want to be around for a long time. Because when stuff gets bad, what they're going to start saying, they're going to start passing out rumors, start gossiping. Don't be around gossipers, guys. Please don't be around gossipers. They ruin so many relationships. Anyway, regardless of how they see you in their mind or in your mind, however one you want to do it. Okay, that's how they will treat you when they get angry, pissed off, whatever. Okay. How do they handle conflict? Observe how potential friends act under stress or in disagreements. Okay, do they remain respectful or do they become hostile? This is something that I struggled with initially. When I make new friends and they slight me in some degree, like I know for a fact I can respond very angry. So what I'll do is that I'll be like, I'll wait for when my anger dies down, and then I'll talk to him about it, right? Sometimes it does it, but when it doesn't, when my anger does not subside, I just wait and let it fester. I let it boil. I let it, cook a little bit. And what tends to happen is that it blows up in someone else's face because I didn't have enough discretion or self-awareness to express it to that person when I should have. Because at some point when I'm angry, I start understanding that I need to talk to them about it because, discernment. Um, but I don't because I'm too pissed off and angry. I'm going to come off pissed off and angry, and I'm concerned about how they're going to think about me when I look pissed off and angry. The others in my mind. Okay. But when it does happen, when I do blow up in somebody's face, it never ends up good because usually it's some misunderstanding that wasn't meant to be a certain type of way. I digress. Do they throw secrets in your face when they get angry? If they do that, they're probably a backstabber. Do they get defensive? Do they blame other people for their problems? Okay? Those two type of people are accountability avoiders. You don't want to hang out with them like that because whenever there's a problem and they're the problem, they're never going to think they're the problem. And because of that, they're not going to be able to change and they're going to be in the same problem over and over and over again because they refuse to change. Okay. Do they hold grudges? Are they just a Lex Luthor level hater? Are they a Kendrick Lamar level hater? Who knows? But what I do know is that usually haters make you more hateful. And hating is not a good thing to have for your heart. Okay? It literally harms you more emotionally. Like even if you were to inflict the kind of pain that you as a hater would want to inflict on somebody, it's going to feel so good you're going to want to do it again. And then 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 it's still unhealthy. It's still unhealthy. Because now whenever you hate, you're going to act on your hatred. And you're going to be cruel to said person. You're not going to like said person. And you're going to become... Ooh. And you're going to become... Well... a hater. No one likes a hater in real life. Nobody. And can they listen to reason under stress? Lastly, can they listen to reason under stress? Okay, if you find a new friend and there's a conflict and you can tell them in basic language, don't do this because of XYZ, you have A, B, C to worry about, and you have one, and you should worry about that because of 1, 2, 3, and they don't calm down or whatever, they're still like, oh, I don't care, man, and they go crash out. Don't bring around that person, because they're going to get you into trouble because by association. It'd be like if you had a friend who went out, and every time he went out, he got into a fight with somebody, and then he went to jail, or you guys both went to jail because you tried to break up the fight, and all of this, a bouncer goes, or the cops go, and they're like, these two people were fighting each other, this guy jumped in, whatever, and now you're both in jail. Got you in trouble by association. Do not be around people like that, okay? How a new friend handles conflict is how they will treat you when they don't like you, when they don't approve of what you do, or what you're doing, or when either you or they call you out. Okay? And all the questions that I went over, I just want to preface it with this. Okay, all the questions that I went over, they're all filters for feelings that some people may or may not know, or are fully aware of, or understand. And those are all 3 different things. I'm not going to explain it. But when you're doing this, please have some grace and practice discretion for these type of people, okay? Some people just need some redirection. Some people need to be called out on their BS or whatnot. Or some people need to be pushed into the right direction, okay? Your job as being a good friend is to simply push them into the right and righteous direction where they should be going. If you don't know where that is, just look at the Bible and how you should be living. Just basic stuff. Okay. Lastly, this is going to be the last thing of the video because we're already past like the 12-minute mark. But check for consistency, integrity. Do their actions align with their words? Do the words align with their action? Consistency is the foundation of trustworthiness. If you cannot be consistent in something, you can't be reliable, and by extension, you can't be trustworthy. Unless you're being, the only thing I can trust you in is being unreliable. And that's a bad place to be. Because when I say, hey, look, I'm going to be here at this time, I'm going to expect you not to go. Or I might never ask you ever again because you haven't been going anyway. Okay? Being consistent matters. Anyway, it's late, but this is part 2 of How to Vet Your Friends. Come back for part 3. I don't know when I'm going to have it out, but that's it. Adios, friend.